Hello, my name is Alexander Capola, and I will be talking today about why I believe people should get a motorcycle. So, in this speech, I will be talking about the gas mileage of a bike considerable to a car, the cost of what it takes to get a motorcycle, and the driving experience of a motorcycle. So first, I'm going to talk about the gas mileage of a motorcycle. Comparable to a car for how small of a tank a average bike has, which is about 4.5 gallons compared to an average of 10 to 12 for a car. It gets significantly more gas mileage. According to Dan Cannett from CycleWorld.com, the average bike gets about 50 to 80 miles per gallon, as the average car gets somewhere around 40, and that's if it's good. If it's like a truck or something like that, it's more closer to 20, along with sports cars. And between 250 and 300 miles for the standard 4.5 gallon tank. In that regards, I think it's significantly cheaper, as gas around here about $2.50 for regular gas, and typically bikes take premiums of $3 and to fill up, so it's $12 for 250 to 300 miles of gas, which is a fairly good price. Next, I will talk about the cost difference between motorbikes and cars. There is a natural or very big difference between the cost of cars and the cost of bikes, due to bikes not being as big as cars, only having two wheels, and cars tend to be more pricier than bikes. For the average car, you can typically, for a brand new car, 2020 car, probably going to be $20,000 for a brand new, let's say, Honda Civic. Comparable to, let's say, a higher end bike like an Indian or a Harley, brand new is probably going to be like 18, maybe, and that's a higher off type of bike. If you're looking more like Victory or Yamaha, it's probably going to be closer to 10, 20, or 12,000, $10 to $12,000 for a brand new bike. So, incomparable to cars, they are fairly cheaper. You can also find a lot of used bikes for under $6,000 to $5,000. There's a lot of bikes that can go for under $3,000. Many people prefer to, for their first bike, buy a used bike due to it being not as expensive. Someone's taken care of it before. It may come with more miles on it, but it is more is at a lower cost. And yes, there are cars that are around that price range as well, but you're not going to be finding a new as a vehicle, or for a new year of model as a bike for that price as you would for a car. Honda did a cost analysis with their vehicles and their bikes. One of their bikes, the CBR 500, and they did a cost per weekly analysis on what it would cost for a bike compared to vehicles, and as you can see, it is significantly less, with the bike costing about $60 a week, compared to the nearest car, which was the Honda Jazz, at about $130 a month, or $30 a week, and that is for the same week how much you'd have to save up to buy a car or a bike in full. So, also, maintenance is cheaper with bikes compared to a car. Bikes don't run off as many pieces. They run off of smaller engines, either a V-twin engine or just a single-cylinder engine, compared to a inline-4 V6 car. Cars obviously have interiors, doors, all of that have to be maintained as well and cost money to fix. The bike doesn't have all of that. It's very easy to remove a tire and replace a tire on a bike, and you don't have to prop up the bike most of the time when you're trying to do stuff. If you want to do an oil change for a car, you do have to jack up the car. For a bike, you just have to put the kickstand up and you're able to change the oil. So maintenance is significantly easier and more cheap with a bike. So next, I will talk about the driving experience and kind of the fun behind a bike. Fun behind a bike is you're not in a car. You do you are on two wheels. It's more on the open, so you do get to feel the wind as you are driving. It is more exhilarating, as it does have a danger factor to it a little bit. But it is, from people who have ridden bikes, says it's more liberating almost, as you aren't in a big metal cage. You can go a lot of different places that a car can't with a bike. Some people have bikes that'll go off-road, dirt bikes and such. That there's many places. It's much easier to move in between traffic if you need to, not doing any lane splitting, which is illegal. But one question that people do pose with a bike is, isn't it significantly more dangerous than a car? To a certain extent, yes, due to you not having the metal around you, the airbags, the protection that a car can provide. But according to Lebovic Law Group, they are more dangerous than cars, as they say, but it's also as safe as the person driving the bike and how they know how to handle the bike. As there are many threats posed to a person who is driving a bike more so than a car, due to car hitting them. It's going to deal much more damage than a car just hitting a regular car. So while driving a bike, you are more alert, you are more paying attention due to it being a more dangerous situation. But as long as you are safe with the bike and you know how you are handling the bike and know what to look for, like people on their phones, people who aren't paying attention, it's not completely, it's not as dangerous as people typically think it is. So I've talked about how bikes are a bit cheaper than cars might be, how maintenance is a little bit less, the gas prices and how fuel efficient bikes actually are, and kind of how it is to ride a bike and what makes a bike cool and how it's not completely unsafe. Those are some of the reasons why I think people should get motorcycles. And my name is Alexander Capola, as I said before, and thank you for listening.